Good afternoon, everybody. Very warm welcome at this panel debate about responsibility towards water, about our responsibility towards water. Definitely interesting and very important topic nowadays. My name is Adrian Bakic, and in the next hour, I will try to discover together with you the values of the water, about some things we actually all know, but sometimes forget about it or even take it for granted. I have an honor of having renowned speakers here, people who throughout their work know how to emphasize water, water resources, smart usage of water. That's also why they will be awarded tonight for their work. Bled Water Festival, together with ministers from Slovenia, Croatia, and Serbia, and Professor Michael Toman, Vice Dean of Biology at the Biotechnical Faculty of the University of Ljubljana, created these regional awards, first regional awards. Mr. Toman was also in the jury, one jury member, together with Mr. Mitja Bricel from Ministry of Environment from Slovenia, Nataša Milic from Ministry of Agriculture and Environment from Serbia, and Elizabeta Kos from Ministry of Environment and Energy from Croatia. That's enough for the introduction. Now I will give floor to our speakers, and I will start with Mr. Anže Logar. You're not only responsible towards water, but also towards wood. You are a wooden boat builder, let's say. You're combining two of the resources that Slovenia has in abundance. What triggered you on this road for what you're doing now?
Hello, good afternoon to everybody. I would like to say thank you for inviting me here. And as about 15 years ago, when I graduated on the university on biotechnical faculty in Ljubljana, I decided that I will change my hobby into a professional work. So I'm a local, I'm from Bled here, and we have a rich and long tradition in wooden boat building. And after my faculty, I decided to go to study traditional wooden boat building in Finland. And my main target and mission is that we will try to save this wooden heritage. So Slovenia has a lot of wood, very quality wood, and instead of using a plastic and other composite materials, I decided first that we change these habits, that we have to revive old art and craft, and on the other hand promote material, and with these facts we will save the heritage of wooden boat building. So we educate the people, everyone who has an interest, we would like to show how to build the constructions and of course help them how to build it.
You are emphasizing cultural heritage. What would you say throughout your work? Does it still have its place that it should have in today's way of living?
Yes, for sure. But as a wooden boats has always, we always need to maintain them quite a lot. So you need a lot of time, and the people are afraid. So therefore, it's a challenge with our team that we promote this day, instead of you buying the plastic things, buy a wooden one. And also we have to remember that because of our tradition, it's a strong thing which we have to carry on.
Okay, thank you. For now, we're moving with Mrs. Margarita Maroškić-Kulaš from Croatia. You're from a freshwater aquarium Karlovac. It's a relatively new project from October. And if I'm correct, you've had 50,000 visitors in that time. You're also emphasizing heritage, biological diversity of Croatia. It is a public institution. What is your primary goal?
Thank you very much. Good day to everybody. Yes, I come from Karlovac, the city on 4 rivers. The city that has a long tradition of living near water, And the main goal of our project was to transform this natural and cultural heritage into a recognizable tourist attraction in order to promote biodiversity of Croatian fresh waters. Yes, until now we have been very successful, and on this day we had more than 75,000 people visiting aquarium in Karlovac in this 8 months from the opening. We are a European project, very proud of that, and the European Union has seen the opportunity to promote the necessity of preserving fresh waters, especially rivers. And that's why supported the initiative from the city of Karlovac to establish this kind of institution. Beside that, we try to be also a scientific institution, not only a tourist attraction, and we are working very hard with different scientists from Croatia in order to do that.
What would you say, who is mostly interested up until now? Are the Croatians discovering the heritage of Croatia, art, or tourists?
At the moment we had mainly Croatian people coming to Karlovac to visit Aquatica since we had now the school season which is finishing. Tourist season has not started yet, it's starting these days, so many tourists are coming to Aquatica to see, and they're very positive with positive feedbacks about our institution and what they have seen. They are congratulating us on this project. But for this moment, we had most of the visitors from Croatia and region, so nearby places, part of Slovenia, Bosnia, and Croatia. We have been financed from the European Union as a local tourist attraction, so we are not making any intense promotions in abroad, but we will see the tourist season which is approaching.
Okay. We have another guest from Croatia, Mihaela Ivanec. Welcome. You are giving importance to free drinking water, and what is interesting, your small group, is combining actual living with digital era. Can you explain us a little bit of your project?
Yes, hello everybody, I'm Mihaela and I'm a part of a Friva team, and we are 4 enthusiastic people, and what is connecting us is passion for water and love for the nature, and desire to create something bigger than us. So our mission is to protect key resources for all human beings, and this is the free drinking water. And our solution is a unique platform that combines digital and analog user experience. So the digital part is a web app and mobile app that shows actually users the free drinking water resource, whether it's a natural or it's a public fountain. So it's actually app for crowd mapping and crowd monitoring free drinking water resources. And the whole idea is also in interaction, so people could also map by themselves all these sources, and eventually if they notice if some source is polluted, then they could report it that, and eventually we could all together make some initiatives together with WWF. It's the World Wildlife Fund, the oldest NGOs for protection of the water. And idea is with them that we protect we, from every bottle that we sold, we gave some part of it to World Wildlife Fund, and together with them we make some protection of these sources. This is the digital part of our project, and the analog part is this Friva bottle. It's a glass bottle that is made of 100% recyclable materials, and there is a simple message on it, thank you, written on 12 languages. And the whole idea is like our gratitude to the nature, because it is our response to it, because we all know about this huge problem with the plastic all around, and our idea is to reduce this waste. So there is also this inspiration with this thank you, that we were inspired by great Japanese scientist Masaru Emoto, who dedicate his life to water. And he says that the water, if it's exposed to the positive vibration and positive words and thank you and love you, it's changed its structure and it shows the beautiful crystals. So that was also idea about the bottle.
I have another question going back to the digital component. Can you tell us how many downloads of your web and mobile app did you have? So how much interest did you trigger up until now?
Okay, we just started. I would also say we launched our campaign on Indiegogo, and just 3 weeks ago, and it is kind of a market also. How could I say, a test for us. So just 2 weeks ago we launched our app, and we have now more than 150 sources up there, and uploads, I'm not sure, there are some more than hundreds, I would say, but we just started. So.
Okay, thank you for now. We're moving to Mr. Matthias Horvat from Petrol. You're representative of the biggest company here at this table. You have project of optimization of water system in Comunala Kran. It's informatization and digitalization project of public service. You started 5 years ago. Can you tell us briefly the project and what were the results in these 5 years up until now?
Hello, my name is Matthias Horvat. I'm coming from the leading Slovenian energy company, which mostly sells petroleum, petrol. But in years that are coming, and now water segment in petrol is growing, and every day new customers are arriving. But our project started, as you said before, 5 years ago in 2012. We started with implementation on different measurement equipment, such as meter flows, pressure flows, pressure reducing valves, such equipment. So after half year, we started to collect data from the field into the big data. We are calling this new informatization big data. From this big data, we collect key performance indicators that are using for management and optimization of water system. In 3 years, we achieved how to lower ILI, infrastructure leakage index, from 11 to 4. We lower electricity consumption for more than a half. And mostly in 3 years, we managed to lower leakage for about 1,800,000 cubic meters of water.
Maybe a question, how this project reflects for the water users in Kran, for example?
They have better quality of water, less water is less leakage. We have less leakage. We have better operational conditions, and of course, we provide an operational tool for technical and economical optimization. So it's complicated project, but if you know what are ILI, what are water leakage, what are losses per kilometer per water network, it's another story.
Okay, thank you for now. And then we're having from Austria Mr. and Mrs. Klaus from Alpe Adria Energie. Welcome. You are family business. You're pioneers of green energy transformation. What would you say are the strong points of your project?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your inviting to come here. It's interesting to have conversation with you and to hear also other opinions. As you told, we are a family company in the 6th generation. We are an energy hydro energy family, and we 6 of our members of the family are just working in all my sons, the daughters, and so on. And what we created in the last 40 years, we created the little word of nature energy and nature water. What is this? In a valley like here, many valleys here in Slovenia, beautiful valleys. I know them all because I'm also kayak on the Socha and so on. And like such a valley, which is near the Dolomites, we created a part of a valley with 14 small hydropowers. 3 of them are just small hydropower accumulation and pump system. Then we created a small alpine wind park on the Blöckenpass, plus sun power, plus also biomass power. And this all in the circle of few kilometers. This combined as green energy park on a central command station. And with this we deliver our energy to the people in the valley, but also all over in Austria we have many customers of nature energy. But what I wanted to tell, and also the winter wind in Slovenia, the first one was Olympic challenge, not? To create this first one. We made with friends of Slovenia. But what concerns today hydropower, I have a great passion for hydro, and now I am working on a certain challenge which I gave me myself, because I am convinced of the following what I want to tell you. We change in the world from fossil energy to renewable energy. And only with water energy, you can accumulate the other variable energies like wind and sun. And therefore we need accumulation lakes in the mountains, not too great ones, because these great ones are disturbing, but small ones which we can insert in the mountains as very beautiful green turquoise lakes. In these lakes will be important also for the future change of climate, because I think we will get extremely hot periods, and then periods with much water, too much water. And we, as the ladies of the left told with the plastic, I think in the oceans we must keep care that the fish can get some intervals to grow. So we must look that we have fish, south water fish. And in these lakes, in the mountains, we could do these good aims. We could resolve these good aims, and also the quality of our water in the Alps is so important. I don't want to tell now too much, yeah. But this is the challenge, on which I am working now.
But what would you say, as a small company, how much influence can you have for sustainable development, more in general in the local community? Do you have enough influence as a small business?
My influence is in doing. I do, the other look and say, okay, he has done it. Not? I'm a worker. Not? I'm a worker. I'm not so often on congresses. But today I feel well here.
Thank you. I ask this because we also have Mrs. Ladaya Godina-Koshir from Executive Director of Circular Change. These are all individual, very important projects, but in more broader, general view, what would you say would be important to stress out the sustainable development?
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank to the organizer and congratulations to all the winners. And partly the answer is here to your question. All these people have skills, have education, have inspiration, but most of all they're enthusiastic and they're willing to change things for better. So I think this is the driving force of this transition from linear economy to the circular one. And to explain what we are talking about actually here also as a part of solution is that in this linear world when we use things and then just throw them away, it doesn't work anymore. We have to preserve them. So circular economy is really aiming for that we use resources in a way that they stay in the production cycle as long as possible. So to repair, to reuse, to refurbish, and at the very end, we throw them not away, but we do recycle them. So with our circular change platform, what we are doing, we are going around, opening eyes, we listen carefully to the best practices as we have here today, and we do introduce the concept of circular economy as a systemic approach where every and each stakeholder matters. So it was very nice what was said just now, because I think that connecting the right dots and those who do have impact maybe just in a small environment is that what will drive this change. So with our platform, we are introducing the concept of circular economy. We are helping to describe good practices as the cases. We introduce them in Slovenia, in the region, and globally, because we think it's very important that we know for each other, because this is everything about collaboration. Now when we have these partners here, we can immediately find another story that we can co-create together. So this is the aim also of our platform, and that is what we do with our partners, with our members. And on the other hand, we are very open for all kind or all types of individuals, companies. We have heard a startup story, which is equally important as the story of a big company like Petrol, or as a family business, or an initiative that is supported by European Union. So this overview of those stakeholders that are doing already something what contributes to the circular economy is what we would like to pull together and show as a best practice, and then this snowball can start rolling.
But are old businesses transforming quick enough to the new times, in your opinion?
I'm very impatient, so for me it's never quick enough, but we have to be patient and we have to take a look at what we have already done and to be aware of how we can change things in our everyday life. So among your honor sponsors of the event is also Dr. Janez Potočnik, the former commissioner. He introduced actually the package of the circular economy, and he's always saying, yeah, take a look at what has been done. So I think it's very important that we are aware of what we are doing and how we are collaborating, and whenever we are taking decisions in our everyday life, we should think about the consequences of our decisions. So it's not something what can wait, but yes, today we can do something, and if we know and if we are aware of what is already done, then we can use that and work upon these best practices.
The awareness is very important. Everybody was speaking about that. Maybe Mr. Logar, you are a representative of younger generations, also working with students. How much awareness of the importance of natural resources is there in the younger generation? What would you say?
I think it's every year is getting better and better. People are more interested about this, and of course because I'm making the boats with the natural material, not just boats, also the other carpenter work. So they are quite interested, and I think if we succeed with this, that we change not to use other materials and prefer wood, we are successful.
Mm-hmm. And maybe also the Freewa project goes there to the younger generation, to the awareness of more and more people who is nowadays used to a quick life, having everything at the hand.
Yeah, I think this is like really big problem with also with not being aware that this plastic is really toxic for us and for humans and for environment. So yeah, this is our goal also to somehow to show them how it is important and to maybe to raise awareness of that, of course. And I think that through this app we could maybe do something.
This connection with the economy is also connection in many projects with tourism. What is environment-friendly tourism for you, for example? Maybe at the aquarium.
Yes, thank you for that question. Well, Croatia is one touristic country. We have seen it developing over the last few decades very much, especially after the crisis in the region. And now we are seeing also the impact of that. The building of big hotels on the coast, but also the big traffic of tourists in Plitvice Lakes, for example, that are under the protection of the UNESCO, but now they are endangering the natural heritage with that many visitors, and they have to work on decreasing the number of visits, because every visitor in a way pollutes the environment. We have to work very much on that to educate people when traveling to use public transportation, not to make any wastes in the nature, but also to respect the environment. I think that mass tourism is dangerous for us, and we have to work very carefully in promoting the destination in order to keep it as it is.
And maybe with the wooden boats in Bled, it also stresses out tourism, right?
Yes, I'm very happy because last year we fixed the problem with the plastic boating. So at the moment it's allowed to have just a wooden boat on the lake if you are making business with the boating. So you can come with the soup and have it inside, but you cannot have it parked in a port or in docking. So it's one good step. We also save the traditional methods of building local material, because mostly we build boats out of the larch wood, which is our authentic wood from this region. And that you will not understand me wrong, I'm very supporting also the developing and the new methods of building, but for us it's important because our lake is very small, and I really try to push hard that we eliminate the using the anti-foulings because this water is so small. And also this is just one lake close here. We have another lake in Bohin, and also Carinthia has many lakes which we limited together with the how can I say, with the approach and with the speaking about that they should not use the long-lasting anti-foulings but normal polyurethane resins and stain, which is totally enough, because you need to maintain the wood and you don't need to use the very toxic and poisoned preparations.
And maybe if we move on, how are you cooperating with other companies or local communities, or even with countries, with the politics on this sustainable growth? Maybe Mr. Klaus, is there any cooperation with other companies who are searching the same aims as you are?
I want to present that my lady directed also for 30 years a hotel, a special nature hotel, fly fishing hotel. Yeah? And we had also two demonstrative hydropower visiting points, and also a geotrail. And so we have also the knowledge what is the result of great tourism and what different tourism we have in the mountains. There's the tourismus with the Pullman when the Chinese and the Japanese come, and with the persons with the small shoes. Yeah? They comes and see, tack, 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 tack. Yeah? This tourism must be located near the roads. Yeah? And if you have a valley like yesterday, I've been in the front of the Trilaf, yeah? This nice valley. This person should be, which comes and see and make photo, should be on the outside corner. And then the other persons are the educated ecologic lovers, which are going by bike or by foot. They have time. For these persons, they are not so many. They can go inside because they are also educated to respect the rules. So we have two different tourism in the mountains, and of course, the mountain and the ecologic scenery cannot take too much persons because there are plastic and all this. So we have this experience, and in our valleys we have also discussions about this to organize this. Okay? But as we are living near the border to Italy, we have also contact with the organizations on the other side. This I can tell you.
Okay. Maybe Mr. Horvat, your project is based on cooperation with local community in Kran. What is your experience?
You, sorry, you asked before about young people and sustainable and smart development, and then I will continue with your question. Petrol has one company inside the group which is called Energy Solutions. We are working closely with faculty of Ljubljana. Every day in our company we have around 10 or 5 or 10 highly educated young professionals who are working on the water, on district heating, on the power plants, on wind. So Petrol is not just a petroleum company. We have our own wind plant. We have sun electricity from sun. We manage to work with district heating and of course with water. But projects when we are working with municipalities, with water sector is special because there are conditions where we have to work with public sector. So sometimes we are helping them and sometimes they are helping us.
Okay. Clean water is human right. Everybody is saying nowadays that. Maybe a nice example is that Slovenia has written the right for clean drinking water in its constitution last year. How do you see the fact that it is in the constitution, Slovakia and Slovenia up until now? Maybe Ms. Košir?
I will also use the right to refer to your question before, and I will connect that because I think it's very important what has been stressed now. It is everything about collaboration. We do use this word too often, but we do not know how to collaborate really. Because when you have different stakeholders together, everyone has his or her own interest, what is completely right. But when we come together with these interests and with our experiences, it's very good to orchestrate among us these interests and to find the solutions that do contribute to this sustainability and to the development that is according to the sustainable goals. So maybe to stress that this is exactly what we are doing with our platform, and we are joking already that we are a kind of a glue, you know, when you get different people together and everyone is equally, has equal rights to express his or her ambitions, but then to find the solution. And the same thing is going with the water. Just recently we've got this discussion in during one event in Krško, and the water was, and this topic particularly was on the table. And there were people from the government, and there were people from the municipality, and people from business, and from NGOs. And what we found out is that definitely it's good to have this right, and no one is against that. But the other thing is that we have to treat water in a responsible way. And here we come to the question, how to do that? Is that what we have in Slovenia now with municipalities and with this kind of government, something what can be improved or something what can remain as it is? So we decided at the very end that it is very open discussion and that we should continue with that while the time is still right. And in autumn we will have another roundtable and workshop just about that, because it's really crucial that we know water is here, yes, but it's not self-evident that it will remain clean, and there is everything connected. It is really systemic approach. You cannot say, oh, we have a nice lake and it works fine. No, there is tourism, there is industry, there is everything what farmers are doing around. So someone has to take control of everything. And it's really the governance of the water that we preserve. And the ideas that we have heard are really great. So I think this kind of approach, innovative approach, is what we need here as well.
You're opening an interesting topic because you're all coming from an area where free drinking water is something we have. But is it taken for granted? Can it stay forever? Maybe from free water?
Yeah, well, I would say that Croatia is really rich with water. It's, according to UN, it's third country of availability of the water, and yeah, we are really lucky to have it. And also this all parts of XU, I think we are really lucky. But the thing is that yeah, we're still in Croatia. I would say we clean the streets with this water. We clean our cars, etc. So yeah, I don't think we use it very well. And this is what we in Friva want to do, is protect these rights, human rights, because I really believe that is human rights. So water is very important. We all know we are built from 70% of water, and like my partner said, we have to love and respect water. So that's, I think, the first step, and we can go further from that.
What would you say in Austria, maybe? Are people aware of the importance of water?
They are aware, but not as much they should, because they have so much water. This is the problem. Here in our region we have much water. But what I want to tell you, we speak about drinking water. You ask, will we have this drinking water for a long time? You must know that the greatest problem we have, we don't discuss here. And I never hear this discussing. The many aeroplanes which are going over us, they are spreading all over our mountains a little bit of this kerosene. Yeah? This is going on every quadratmeter. The rain is coming up. This goes in the mountains inside, because the mountains are the cleaners of our water. Until now, the mountain has this force to clean, when he's going down in the mountain, to clean this water. But when this clean effect has stopped, then we have not fresh water. Then we must treat also the alpine water with chemical methods, and this should not be. Therefore, we should start speaking about our many aeroplanes, and which are spreading us all this chemical, to change the aeroplanes in other energy forces. This would be first. The second is that we must know that the climate change will distract or change our water, yearly water periods. We will have more hot periods and more very strong periods of water. And therefore also on the base of this different rainings, also the water quality is changing. But I think I don't want to go too much in detail, but these two important things I mentioned now.
You're all very aware of the problem, but how are you seeing the political level in your countries or on European level? Is there enough political awareness of that we have to take care of water? Yeah, you can start if you wish. It's actually a question for everyone.
It is like this. The economic scenery, not? All companies want to make profit and to survive. They have these aims, and the nature has other aims. And what I see now, that the aims, economic aims are too strong until now. You see this with Mr. Trump. He says we have no change in climate and nothing. And this is very dangerous because we are too slow to change, for the change, to change us. Yeah? Much too slow. The change of the climate is much quicker than we take our turns back. And therefore, I think we can say much too slow.
Maybe Mrs. Maruškić.
Well, since I come from the public institution, which is a part of the city of Karlovac as a local government, and completely financed from the European Union through the regional agency, the national agency, I have to say that our government and the local community is very aware of the fact that we should protect our water. Karlovac is very depending on water since it has been like that for centuries, since the traffic was not made through the roads but through the rivers. And nowadays, when the tourism has started to develop, and we have to be aware of the fact that we depend on the water in Karlovac as a small region. I personally come from the eastern region, the eastern part of the eastern region, which is very poor with water. And I have to say that from the old times, people are depending on the rain and on the water sources that has been there. So I think all around Croatia, people are very aware of the fact that water is important and could be not only important for life, but also important for the in the situations of flooding, like Karlovac is endangered all the time. So we as a local government and as a public institution are educating people that is important to preserve natural resources like rivers and lakes. And only if we educate everybody, we can be sure that our future generations will be aware of the fact that water should be for everybody. Not free, because we are all paying for that, unfortunately, and expensive, but that everybody can use natural and clean water.
Yeah, okay. I would say that awareness is not the biggest problem. Yes, we are aware of that, and we even have this SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, and water as a human right is very explicitly written there. But as it has been discussed already, there are economic goals, and they're prevailing, and they will prevail. And besides that, we have environmental issues, social issues. So we are talking about balancing all these interests, so economic, social, environmental, and we are talking a lot about it. But at the end of the day, we know that this resource is the most valuable resource. And what is happening to the water is that big companies multinational companies are buying the resources and so on. So I think that on the systemic level, I'm back there again, we have heard about transportation, how important aviation is. And if we go from sector to sector, we will see that we will protect the water only if we will work hand in hand among the sectors. And this is the problem also on the level of European Commission, because again, we do not have a solution that would implement everything what is known within each of these SDGs. So I would call for action here, absolutely.
Is maybe just one sub-question. The privatization that you've mentioned of water resources, one of the biggest issues at this moment on the global level.
It is an issue, because if the water is becoming the scarce resource, we know it's the matter of war and peace. So the one who owns the water, the one has the power.
You wanted to add something?
No.
Okay. Let's move also to the financial part, because you mentioned your EU funded. It's interesting, but maybe Freewa, how did you fund your project? Where did you get your starting capital?
Well, yeah, we are a social impact startup, and what we start with the Startup Factory Zagreb, that was competition that we won 9 months ago. There were like 80 startups, and we won among 5 of them. So we get some financial from there. And also another competition, Run Something by Yourself. We also, from 553 competitors, we won among 5 of them. So we get some financial from there. But what is most important, we get lots of education. We got lots of connection from there. So it was really, really great for something like this. Like, we are a startup, and this was like really important for us.
Maybe Mr. Horvat, from cost-wise, what is your stance? It is a big project that you, together with Kran, are doing.
Again, I will start with question before.
No problem.
Because I have experience in other countries, Croatia, Serbia, Italia, and Slovenia, of course. They are really aware of what we have, but they are doing nothing, or they are doing very slow, and it's terrifying. So we are trying to help them. We try to help to move something in government, because it's not enough. If you move something in public sector, it stops there, and it stops. Okay, and I will continue with what you asked me about the financial.
Yeah.
Okay, financial. In our company, we have different financial instruments. So we are offering financing or part financing projects or contracts related to reduction of water losses. So this is the key instrument. We have to do something, and we get back the money from the civil public. So this is the key for how can a group like Petrol work with public sector.
Okay. Maybe Mrs. Koshir, what would be the cost of the transformation to the circular economy? You probably have some.
I will start with one example. I just said, first thing, we are drinking water from the bottles here, from plastic bottles. Nothing against the sponsor. It's very nice that they're sponsoring events, but this is how we can start changing things. So, and if we go to the costs, yes, business is driving everything. And as you said, when the business starts seeing opportunities in different business models, then everything starts changing. So there is a lot of investment needed, of course, in the innovation, because we do not have solutions yet. So we have to innovate, and it is about collaboration, and it is about innovation. And it is about scarce resources. So when we realize that using something and then not throwing it away, but reuse it, refurbish and repair, as I said, then the whole paradigm starts changing. changing. And these are the savings then on the holistic level. So when we are listening to what is the benefit of this transition from linear to circular on European level, there are huge amounts within different funds that are available in Europe, and then there are a lot of jobs that can be created out of that. So definitely there are opportunities and there is money. And just now there is a vivid discussion about the money that is looking for the opportunities or for the projects that have this circular or sustainable character or this model. So it is really about how capable we are to introduce these new models and to get in contact with the money that is available from banks or for European funds, and then really do this transition toward these new business models and use not only money but also other resources in a proper way. So this is something what is sustainable.
Maybe Mr. Logar, the aim of every project is to improve the quality of life of people. How do you see your work is improving people's lives or people's habits?
Actually, with my team, we really try to take care about these wooden boats, especially here from Bled and maybe from Carinthia and other regions. But maintaining the wood is very important, because otherwise these products cannot be in good condition for a longer period. But what I wanted to say before, you mentioned the politics and the support. For now, I decided that my mission will be save this heritage, and also with the local community I will try to find a solution for my live museum where everyone can come and build his own boat, or where he can get the support for self-boat building course or construction. But I think it's very important the visitors which come here in Bled, that they see the maintained and good and boats in good condition, and also the people who wants to build their own boats, that they get support. And I think it's very nice and much beautiful to see good maintained boats compared to one old rotten and not in good condition. So
Maybe Mr. Klaus, is social component also driving your work to improve quality of life of people?
Yes, of course. Of course, because if I would have done all only on profit, yeah, I would have a greater company. But it's enough great also so that some part of my doing, my working, has been social. Because I'm convinced about this. And I'm also convinced that the change of the transformation we need on the world will not come from up, will come from down to up. We must organize this on ourselves with our own financement. And I made some consideration, how could this go? Let me, this is a formula what I found. I think we are all eating too much. Somebody could be here which is not eating too much. But let us eat 25% less. Then we don't die. Not? This we put on this side. Not? We have also some materials too much. 25%. Do also here. Huh? So we have just everybody of us have about a certain amount in reserve. From this reserve, we take the half to buy regional products, because the regional products, they have a little bit higher price, so that the undertakings in the region and the person who products better quality products can live. So the half we have taken for regional products. The other half we split, so that a quarter or a third we take for projects like this, that we make water projects, we make other ecological projects in the region, because the people want to do this. And especially the young people, the young, good, educated people, they want to do this. And they can be convinced very quick. And then it's resting a little bit, and this you can use for your accumulation for the pension, because this will not be sure in the future. So this 25 formula is to finance our change by ourselves, by many persons. And if you say, if everybody would give 200 euros a year, please make the multiplication, and you will see you can change without calling and waiting on feeds and all this, which is only losing you time.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you very much. I think that I'm writing down things you're saying, because I think this is really something what we should be aware of, how easy some things are and how obvious, but we do not act this way. So thank you for this remark very much. Absolutely, bottom-up approach is crucial. And when you mention the funds, we are discussing this quite often also. When you get these grants from the European Union, for example, but nothing against that. But then you take this money in a way, and maybe you do not even invest it in a proper way, because you have to maintain those things further on. So maybe you will build a very beautiful, I don't know, farm or whatever, but in 10 years' time you will realize that it is not something what is sustainable. So to be very practical in a way, and to have this human logic, it counts a lot. So even if there is a money, if this money is not used in a way that you can do things in a sustainable way, then this money is not invested but is wasted. So I think that solutions like that and this kind of calculation, what we can do, is really, really important when we are deciding for the projects. And this is, again, maybe we need less and do more with what we have.
Freewa also has the social component in terms of circular economy, right?
Yes.
Can you explain?
Yes, so we use this 3R as a solution, like reduce, reuse, and recycle. So yes, that's why it's this glass bottle that we want to say that we don't need these plastic bottles, because it exits toxic substance and what we all say about environment. And the other thing is this reuse. So we have this bag for the bottle that is made of recycled PET plastic. So already plastic that exists in nature we take, and we make this bag for it. And there is also this app that that shows people closest free water resources, and as I said before, they could alarm this pollution about resources. And the other hand is that the all production is take place in Croatia. So we want in that way support our local economy and to improve some more free space for workers there in Croatia.
But what about the promotion of your app and of your bottle? How are you planning to promote it so that as many people know about it as possible?
Yeah, as I said before, we start this campaign on Indiegogo, so it's the first step. And there's social media, and there is this that we teamed up with World Wildlife Fund, and they have more than 5 million members all around the world. And we will do also through hostels, hotels, and tourism. So there's, I think, lots of space for that. Yeah.
Maybe if we go one round, everybody. My question is, people in your circle, are they aware of the water? You all are aware of the importance of water, water resources, the usage of water, but people in your circle, do they give importance to it as it should be? Maybe if we start with Mr. Horvat.
Thank you. Yes, it's an interesting question. people around me, around my family or around my company, they are aware of good, clean water, why we have good, clean water, why we don't use too much. In our company, we have signs on the wall, look up for the water. So I think they are aware that clean water, it doesn't come just like a bread from the bakery. You have this water cycle, it's not just about us, it's about all the people, animals, I don't know, industry, pharmacy. So I think it's very important that water, it's not just water. We are living from the water.
Anyone else?
I would say that luckily we are not aware of what does it mean not to have access to the water. And as long as you have something, it's like when you're healthy, you think, oh, it's obvious, I'm healthy. As soon as you get sick, you have only one issue, and this is how to get healthy. And I think the same thing is with the water. We have it, we are aware of that it's very nice, but we do not know. I personally cannot imagine life without access to the clean water. So I think that this awareness and the real experience is something what we luckily do not have in our region.
Sorry, I would like to add something. Yeah, unfortunately, there's like 1.5 billion people that don't have access to the water. And yeah, I think there is not enough awareness of, yeah, we take it for granted, I would say. And the whole idea is like we have so much fresh, free drinking water. And we are like the 12th country in the world that use flash these bottles, PET bottles. Why? I mean, this is, I think it's a comfort zone. And it's easier to just take it this and don't think of what this do to the environment. I think there is not enough awareness.
Well, since I'm a director of the aquarium, obviously, my surroundings people in my surroundings are very aware of the water itself, and living in the city on 4 rivers, which are the source of life, but also a danger of flooding all the time, gives us the unique position to be very aware of the water pluses and minuses. I think there is a lot of space to work in the educational level. For example, I will just give you the example of yesterday's situation in Karlovac. The day before yesterday, school has finished in Karlovac, and all the young people have gone to the riverbank to celebrate. To enjoy swimming in the river. I would not say drinking because it's illegal, but we could see all different situations. And they have celebrated life, living in Karlovac, swimming in clean river. You can drink the rivers in Croatia. And the morning after was terrible. The whole riverbank was covered with plastic glasses, plastic bottles. And I say that we have a lot of business in educating young people about the awareness of necessity to preserve the nature.
I will tell you very, very honestly, because of this conversation here, I really start to think about what I can change to save our water resources and what I can improve personally and in my company, what we can save and take care about to get a better effect with less water wasting.
Thank you. Mr. Klaus?
Water should never be privatized, because water is the original right of the population. This is first rule, and also the European Union had just the idea to do this, but in Austria the person was claiming this never should be. First, plastic. You can educate the world, but better would be to have a plastic which after 2 years it is zack, it is smelling, yeah, in ecological way, so that you must not educate also this person who will never educate. Yeah? Otherwise you will not succeed. So we must find materials which after 2 years, so you must drink it before, you know, go the plastic goes away, not and goes in the ecological way, so that we can have a great solution. This is possible. This is possible, but we must do it. Yeah? Otherwise, we will not succeed with the plastic. And this is very plastic and the aeroplanes. For me, are the two greatest problems of the world now for the change, and then also others. But it is also important that in the schools we speak more about the system of water, of the value of the water, of the chemical of the water. That, for example, that in the ocean water has the same composition like our Bled, only the red color is missing, and all this should be taught. This is very important.
Okay, thank you. Now we have some time for other questions from the public. Anyone?
Yeah, what about petrol? How you invest about water and to protect the water? The pure workers know everything about how you invest in this in your company.
Part of group, as I said before, part of division energetic solutions. Part of the group of Petrol. In Petrol, there are 27 companies in 10 countries. It's a very big company for about 4,500 employees. Yes, water segment, it's getting bigger and bigger. We are taking care about water sector. We are working with other countries, I don't know, Romania, Bulgaria, Croatia, Serbia, Italy, and we are, with these financing models, we are trying to help them how to renew water networks, how to modern information technology, because we have a lot of skills, a lot of knowledge, and we are in the beginning of this cycle. Petrol is now in the process of, how can I say, they are not, we will not sell more petroleum products. We are getting in energy sector, as I said before, wind power plants, sun, water.
Which kind of water do you drink in your company?
Yes, in our company here in Bled, we are drinking from the pipe. Everybody has, you know, flaška. They're making here in Radovlica. Yes, it's from the glass, and it has a sign like this. And it's informized water. Okay.
One of your most sell product is coffee to go.
Yes.
And coffee to go need water. So do you measure which kind of water you, because water have differences from Novo Mesto to copper to Bled. Then you influence.
Yes, really. Everywhere I go to the public company for water, first I try what kind of taste it has. So yes.
What's your favorite water except fresh?
Favorite water is fresh water from the pipe from Ljubljana. I am from Ljubljana, but so it's the best water in Slovenia, I think.
Do you think that you should invest more in education about water? Because you are one of the largest companies in Slovenia.
Yes, as I said before, just today we have like conference like this for the young engineers in Dunajska cesta in Ljubljana. There was a mentor, Dr. Kozel. He was talking about water he's from the University of Ljubljana. He was talking about the water, about calibration, about water system, about water leakage, about management, about informatization. So I think the petroleum last time they invest a lot of money in water sector.
Thank you.
If I may, thank you first, all of you, for very nice messages, really, congratulations. And I would like just to maybe remind, it's 25 years after Agenda 21 and Sustainable Development, addressing all these very important issues, introducing the Sustainable Development as philosophy, and way much to go. Now, after quarter of century, thanks God, because of you, we are talking about the concrete stories, yeah? Policy is very, let's say, slow or clumsy, whatever, EU, national, and so on. But thanks to you, there are stories which are concrete. And this is, I believe, it's my perception, hope to really change and become efficient, taking into account sustainable development. But now, listening all of you, how to use water resources or how to, let's say, go further is, for me, addressing the water rights. And all this connected with how and who. I'm missing, and you are not the case, but it's also about the water, about the responsibility and obligations. It's not just about the rights, yeah? To have water quality or quality of life is not just the freedom to get it, to buy it from wherever, but to take care about the local resources. This is the first, and this is about responsibility. Now I'm asking about the responsibility of the companies or individuals, and this is something what we have when we are talking about the rights, also to be very clear to talk about. What is the responsibility of each of, let's say, us, local communities, or the society, or whatever, national level? This is, I'm missing very much, because we are talking in general too much, yeah, about the policies. Who is implementing this? Yeah? You are responsible company, individuals, thanks God, but what it's about really efficiency, we are full of declarations of Agenda 21, of European directives and national laws, but what about the implementation, about the real life? And this is about you. You are front runners, but where are the others? Why the process is so slow, clumsy? It's not true that it's not enough money even. It's enormous amount of money behind, just take it into account the common agriculture policy to change the, let's say, patterns of agriculture production, which should become more friendly to the water resources even, but it's spent for something completely what it's unfortunately not an issue. And so on and so on. Now what to do? You individuals, you mentioned very clearly, it's about the work, about your approach, not about the Congress, about the national or EU policy. It's your contribution to this change. Unfortunately, why it's such a paradox? It's European policy is declaring for the green economy, whatever projects, circular economy, national policies also, but the top-down approach is problem or very slow, as you said, if any. And the change, and this is very important also for me, all companies becoming also the water company, all becoming water and water becoming so important as soil. This is also very important change.
I was working for 6 years in public sector, and then I was working for 6 years in private sector, and now I'm kind of public-private sector because petrol is also kind of the state. Yesterday I was also talking with technical director from one of the company from Serbia. He said the money, it's not a problem. So why? It's a problem about the public government, it's a problem about the state government. I don't know where money goes. That's the answer. So we are enthusiastic people who are trying to move something on, I think so. It's getting very slow. It is going very slow, not getting. It's going very slow. So I don't know where we will come in few years. I don't know, companies like petrol or smaller companies, I don't know, if they will put money in public sector with contracts like this, half, maybe it will change something. That's my opinion.
I think it's very important to have this bottom-up approach, but top-down as well, and bridging both of them, because otherwise you can do very good things, but if the rules are against that, or if the government is supporting different things, and then you cannot do your job as you would like to, or as you can. So I'm a believer in a dialogue, and what we are doing with our circular change platform, it's maybe utopia, I don't know, but there are some results, because when you bring people from the practice, from the real sector, to the same table as you bring the government, and when you ask direct questions, so how is the guy from the government going to support the guy from the business, and which are those objectives that are preventing the right investments or the multiplication of his businesses, then the answer has to come to the table. So what we can do, I'm speaking of our aim, or because each of us has his own or her own mission. I think that if we do what we do best, then slowly we will connect these dots and do something. But it's really crucial that we do talk to each other, because if we just ignore and we say, oh, they're there and we are here, nothing can happen and we cannot get faster to the results. And the sad fact is that I believe that our planet will survive, but it's about us as a human race. So this is really something what we should think about, that we are not solving the problem of the planet, but we are solving the problem of our existence on that planet.
I would like to say that maybe the government is not acting fast enough, because in our region it's not still a problem. We have enough water. And but unfortunately, when it will be a problem, it will be late. Either big companies will privatize everything, and then we will not have that, let's say, easy approach or not so expensive water, or maybe there will be so much pollution that it will infect our lives increasingly in the matter of speaking from the moment now. So maybe we have to say it will be a problem very soon, because if it's not a problem, I think that these large systems like states are not working on that efficiently.
And we have the last question here in the first row, yeah?
Thank you very much, and thank you to all the speakers for their contributions. My name is Yuri Giacomelli, and I would just like to refer to this standpoint that was raised here in the first row about responsibility, because it's a big question, right? What are our responsibilities in this big change, this dynamic that is happening, if we want it or not. I would like to refer back to one of your questions, and one of the answers that was actually provided by Mr. Klaus, and along with his excellent life example, I can say, of his company. You asked about the cost to transit to the circular economy. And I think it's a very important issue that we all understand whether it's really a cost or where there is a choice at all, and what our choices really are. Because if we discuss this in real depth, we will understand what our roles are and responsibilities, legal or as parents or as business people or citizens and so on. The dynamics is happening. The planet will save itself and will punish us more or less. And if we don't act, we will live worse. I mean, the little part of the world population that we all of us included that lives quite well will obviously not be able to maintain this high quality of living. But we have solutions. But to understand the solutions, I think there are two issues to be involved. First of all, I think there was an interesting intervention by Mr. Klaus saying companies run for profits, and that's how it is. Yeah? And that's good, in my opinion. That's really good to recognize that, because profit is something very good. It's we have profit because the society works like that for the whole history. We are a competitive race. But then, of course, there's the other side that does not work. How should we balance that? One thing is that, of course, we should not try to think that we should correct the system. What means we should not put burden on top so that we will correct and then live on a little longer. We should invest. The 25 rule would be great to implement. Rather, we should invest to support the change into something more sustainable. That's very different. So in order to do that, we have to respect the natural limitations, the limit of resources, as something as an absolute limitation. Yeah? So there is nothing to correct there. It's just to respect that there's this much water, there's this much space, there's this much natural resources. And then the second thing is, of course, within this boundary, there's this profit motivation, how we can turn it around, how we should actually use it better. And just a small reminder, there's a difference between the rent, yeah, and the profit. You fight for profit, but you have a rent if you have a social or natural status, yeah? So you earn something more on top just because of what you are. Right now it's already by nature, but by nature course, that we can use lots of plastics that others will be thrown away, or we can use water better, as there's an excellent example with the small lakes that Mr. Klaus explained. So we can do many things that bring economic benefits to those who implement them, and so profit can go along with good deeds. But what we all lack is a more cooperation, more systemic change. The 25% approach is an excellent base to discuss how we can systemically progress faster towards that. So we don't need to give away profit, we need to suffer in that. We just have to organize and act much more decisively towards that. And that I think is something that we should take out of this, because I really enjoyed the conversation, and when the question of responsibility was raised, I think it's really, if I turn it a little bit around, where do we all fit in this? Because we all have responsibility, right? So, and I think we should find our roles by saying, okay, let's do good business, let's help implement the right measures, let's impose policies, let's impose rules, and let's discuss this so that we will all actually do this much faster. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any comments on this? No. Yeah, Mr. Klaus?
No, I said no, sorry.
This was very interesting. Your question was very interesting. The economic system has rules. must have rules. Rules for his function. But the economic has also aims. And we must change the aims so that if one economic follows a way on the aim we don't want, he shouldn't earn. So we must say, if somebody produces materials which are not good for the nature, he should not earn, because he must pay some damage fee. So we need above in the laws, in the rules, there is the spirit. But who makes the spirit? In this world makes the spirit persons who are not in practice, persons who never really worked. So a person come from the university directly in positions, yeah, in high positions, without practice. So I would say every person who comes up in an important position should have worked before 10, 15 years in special branches, and should have real practice, so that he is a practical person, not a theoretical person, because we suffer now in whole Europe, and also Europe could be go in splitting because of this, because we have rules which are out of or distances from practice. This is the greatest problem we have. So up there, the person who makes the rules should be honest and really respected practical persons. Otherwise, we fight now against rules, against theoretical rules, and waste our time in these fights, not in changing. This is the problem. But it was always the problem on the world, not? But until now, the world could act like this. But now the world is very, very narrow, and we cannot follow this system longer. Until now, it was possible, no? But now it's really must be made a great transformation, and the intelligence to find new rules and economic systems is also standing for the door, not so.
Thank you very much. Thank you, dear guests, for your comments, for your work, and congratulations again. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Bled Water Festival will continue with its work, with its aim, to be probably even bigger next year, to have even more positive stories like yours. So thank you very much for now, and enjoy your time in Bled.